In this section, you're going to learn how to multiply fractions and mixed numbers. The best part about this section is that there is no more common denominators. When you multiply or divide fractions, you no longer need to find a common denominator. The product of two or more fractions is equal to the product of the numerators over the product of the denominators, which means that you multiply the numerators and then you multiply the denominators. One thing I want to point out to you, though, that makes it a lot easier to multiply is that you want to divide out the common factors. What this means, looking at our example here, is that when you have 5/12 multiplied by -3 over 20, is you want to look across or cross multiply by each other. You want to look by both numerator and denominator to see if there's anything that will cancel out. So in this case, I see that 3 and 12 share a common factor. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 12 4 times. So those can divide out. 5 and 20 can also divide out. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 24 times. So now I've just made this a much smaller multiplication problem. You can leave it without dividing out the common factors, but then you're going to have to reduce and reduce and reduce again when you're done. So here I'm multiplying 1 times 1 and 4 times 4 to get 16. Remember that 5/12 was positive and 3/20 was negative, and when I multiply a positive and a negative, my answer is negative. The rules were 2 negatives give you a positive, 2 positives give you a positive, and when 1 is negative and 1 is positive, the answer is negative. Remember those rules. In example number 2, you're going to be multiplying a mixed number by an integer. So in this example here, they tell you that the shower head in your home uses 2.5 gallons of water per minute. If you take a 7-minute shower, how many gallons of water did you use? So the problem would be set up by using the gallons used would be equal to the gallons per minute times the number of minutes. So here we have 2.5 times 7. What you want to do whenever you have a mixed number is change it to an improper fraction. This is a great rule to use whether you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. You have to do it when you're multiplying and dividing, and it makes it a lot easier even if you're adding and subtracting as well. So it's a great rule to keep in the back of your head. Just do it for all of your fractions. So here I changed 2.5 to 5 over 2, and I put 7 over 1 so that they're both fractions. I'm looking across to see if I can cancel anything out, and I can't here. So now I'm just going to go and multiply. 5 times 7 was 35. 2 times 1 is 2. But here I have an improper fraction. When I'm finished, I'm going to change it back to my mixed number. So here my answer would be 17.5. When you're multiplying mixed numbers, as I said before, you need to change it to improper fractions. Then you want to divide out your common factors. So here I had 3 and 1/5, and I changed it to 16 over 5. Then I had 4 and 1/6, which I changed to 25 over 6. I notice here that 5 and 25 can cancel out. So I'm going to cross out 5 and 25. And I'm going to change the 5 to a 1 because 5 goes into 5 once, and the 25 I'm going to change to a 5. 6 and 16 don't cancel out, but they do share a common factor of 2. So 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 16 8 times. So now I'm still left with a smaller problem, and I end up getting 8 times 5 is 40, and 1 times 3 is 3. This is negative because remember my -3 and 1/5, and I don't want to leave this improper, so this would actually change to 13 and 1/3, which is negative. In the last part, they want you to simplify expressions, which just means that now we are going to have a variable in our fraction. You're going to follow the same rules. You're going to try to divide out any common factors. So looking at this example here, I can see that 4 and 10 share a common factor of 2. So 2 goes into 4 twice, 2 goes into -10 5 times, and those are the only things that I can divide out. So then when I multiply m times 5, I get 5m, or m over m5, but we always write the number first, and I get 2 times 7, which is 14. I have a positive and a negative, so this is negative 5m over 14. In the last example, we have n to the 4th power over 12 times n times 9n to the 2nd power over 10. Again, anything that you can cancel out is just going to make this easier. And I can see here that 9 and 12 share a common factor of 3. So 3 is going to go into 9 3 times. 3 is going to go into 12 4 times. So I know that I can make this a little bit smaller. So 3 times that 1 that's there is going to give me 3. Then I'm looking at my n's. 4 n's and 2 n's is going to give me n to the 6th power. Because remember, even though we're multiplying, we add our exponents. We learned that last chapter. Now I have 4 times 10, which is 40. So my final answer is going to be 3n to the 6th over 40. This is your section on multiplying fractions and mixed numbers.